Hi, I'm Gene Kamarmi, and I'm the educational chairperson for the Green Valley Recreation Camera Club. I am the person who schedules and designs a lot of the classes that are used by the Green Valley Recreation Camera Club. We are one of the largest camera clubs in the country with almost 1,000 members. I get a lot of requests from members to have a class on using your Android phone as a camera. And I thought, oh, that's simple. I'll go to my repository of all known knowledge, YouTube, and I will find a video that shows people how to use their Android phone as a camera. Well, I was not successful. I found several videos. Um, a few of them were poorly planned and would be difficult to follow, and several were given by people whose native language was not English, and they were very difficult to understand. And there was really limited pedagogical skills shown in any of the videos. I did find a couple of really nice videos on using your Android phone as a video camera, and they were well done. But what I was looking for wasn't there. So I decided to put together a short video that would show people how to use their Android phone as a camera. And quite honestly, I immediately found out that the camera that came with my Android phone was a bit limited, but we were able to find a pretty decent replacement for it that will allow the members to use their phones pretty much like they were a DSLR. So I'm going to get started now and show you how you can use your Android phone as a decent camera. The first thing that you'll want to do is to go to the Play Store and install Open Camera. It'll take a few minutes to install, and then once it's done, you will see this screen and click the green button to open the Open Camera program. When you first open the Open Camera program, you'll need to change a few settings. To change settings on Open Camera, go to the gear wheel at the top of the screen. In this case, you'll see it up on the left-hand side. Click the gear wheel, and now some of the camera control options will open up. Some of the basic ones don't need any attention at all from you. Leave the timer off, leave face detection off. I would then immediately move down to photo settings. This is the part that we need to pay a little attention to before you start using the Open Camera program. Number one, image quality. The default value is 90%, but I want it set at 100. So move the little slider over to 100% and then click OK. The image format. This you want in JPEG. That is the most commonly used image format. And basically, unless you tell it otherwise, the camera will take pictures using the JPEG format. You can turn on RAW when needed or if you want to use it, but you want to make sure it's the standard DNG or RAW setting. Those are used by most editing programs. Save images for HDR mode. Don't bother turning that on at this time. HDR enhancement process, I haven't bothered with either. Make sure it's just set for smart. That's the default setting. You really don't need to know what these are at this time. Just make the settings and you'll be ready to shoot pictures. Exposure bracketing, choose 3. When making HDR pictures or when having problems, the camera will shoot three pictures, one that is exposed one f-stop below the recommended setting, one that's exposed right on, and one that's exposed one f-stop over the recommended setting, and then the three can be combined together. Panorama auto crop, you can turn it on. What that allows you to do when you take a panorama shot, the photos seem to line up perfectly. In the panorama images, don't save the originals. I had selected because if I did panoramas and saved the originals, it usually ended up with a lot of pictures that I just didn't need. I have not mirrored the front camera mirror. It is not something that I need at this point. And then I scrolled all the way down to the bottom, and there's just a couple things that I wanted to check. I want to enable the fast HDR burst, and I want to allow photos while recording video. Now, we can also make a couple or other settings. Take a look at processing settings. I don't think there's anything we need to change there. Now, there is one thing, and it's the last thing you need to do. You're on photo settings and settings page. Scroll down to where you see camera API. Make sure that that little button is checked, that you're using camera to API. It enables a lot of extra features on the Open Camera program that work well. Now, in addition to all of this, you're going to want to change the look and feel of the camera. So the next step is to look at the camera's interface. And that is under on-screen GUI. This is where you can change what you see on the screen. Now, these are my preferences. I would suggest you start with these, and then you can work your way through this. If you find you don't need something, you can turn it off. If you find you need other things, you can turn them on. Show the flash icon. I want that on. I want to know when the camera is going to use the flash. I did not turn the auto level icon on. That helps you keep your camera level with the horizon. People who do a lot of panoramas and a lot of scenic shots like to turn that on. I've never used the photo stamp icon. I've never used a custom stamp icon. I want it to show. I've never used the location icon. Show the raw icon. I want that to show up because if I decide that I have some gorgeous picture, I'm standing over the Grand Canyon, for example, I can click the raw button and I can take that picture in raw for future editing. The white balance lock needs to be turned on and the auto exposure lock needs to be turned on. You may not use them often, but they're good to have on the screen. You'll want to see the zoom slider control. It's a lot easier to zoom by moving the little slider than it is by expanding your fingers. The take photo icon allows you to have a little button on the screen that you press to take a picture. Show on-screen messages. If the camera is trying to give you a message, it will appear on the bottom of the screen. Make sure that's checked. The What's New dialog, I leave it on in case there are any upgrades to the program. It tells you. Now keep display on. If enabled, the screen won't switch off while the main camera user interface is open. I like to leave my screen on. I find it annoying when it shuts itself off and I have to turn it back on to take another picture. This does use more battery, but it's well worth it. And finally, force maximum brightness. It just makes the screen as bright as possible. This is especially helpful if you're outdoors. Once you've checked these, and once again, I'll give you a list in the notes. Check them all off. You're ready to take pictures. Notice now we're taking an extreme close-up. So I'll focus on the figurine, and then I'll push the shutter release, and we have a picture. In camera, you have to know where they're at and how to get them to your computer. You will find them by tapping the little colored windmill icon on your Android screen, and the pictures that you just took will appear. Here's a picture of our little statue in the snow. Once I have the picture open, I can click this little button to the left there with the 3 circles, dots connected. And when I do, it will now say, where do you want to share this picture? I can email it to somebody, but best yet, if you go down at the bottom, you can mail it to yourself, or you can click more, and you can send it to several services. You can put it into Keep Notes. You can save it to your Google Drive. You can save it to Dropbox. And from any of those sources, you can then save it down to your computer. An even easier way to transfer the pictures from your phone to Google services and then your laptop is to set it up to do it automatically. When you click the little icon for pictures, that's that multicolored windmill, you will then see Google Photos up. On Google Photos, you can go up to the icon in the upper right-hand corner, and you can tell it that you want it to automatically back up your accounts. Go to Photos and Settings, and then go to Backup and Sync, and set this so it's backing up to your Gmail account. When you do that, you take a picture on your phone, it automatically goes to the little photo center here, and at the same time, it syncs up and goes to the one on your computer, and you don't have to do anything. Now, usually it waits until you're on a Wi-Fi service to do it, but take your time, be patient, the pictures will transfer over. And then from the Windows site, you can download them to any application on your computer.